Hello, everyone. This is Monsaf Afqar, and thank you so much for joining us in this new call of Your Divine Uniqueness. So happy to have you with us, whether live or on the replay. And also really excited that Erica Van is back on the show. She's been joining us every season for the last several years, and as always, when in the introduction of our calls with her, I share my experience with her because. Since the beginning, I was really fascinated by how powerful it is, her work, how the accuracy of the information that she gives, the clarity that she brings through, and also the energy that she embodies and also shares with you when you work one-on-one with her. And I worked with her several times, and every time it was, how to say, it opened up like either a new path that I was not expecting, and which was really exciting, or really helped to understand the energetic shift that I was going out through. So it's always been powerful, and very happy to have her back with us here on the show. And for those of you who are new to her, she is a quantum alchemist, intuitive and life coach, channel, and international speaker. And the subject today is Grandmother Spider, the web you weave, a journey of choice. So she will be sharing with us about the Grandmother Spider and its place in the Native American traditions, and also like she will be talking in depth about how beliefs, programs, and patterns shape our reality, and how we still have free will and the choice to create the stories that we would really want to experience in life, and how we can do that by shifting our beliefs and patterns, and by becoming the weaver, or we are already the weaver. We are the ones who are creating our realities. And it's a very exciting subject. And also we'll have a Q&A as always, where you can ask Erica your questions. So if you are on Zoom, you can raise your hand by pressing react, then raise hand. If you are on the phone, you can press *9, and also you can type your questions on the chat boxes on Zoom and on YouTube. And so with that, Erica, welcome back to the show. Happy to have you with us.
Thank you. Always fun playing with you and everyone that comes to your show, because everyone's energy is very open, so it's easy for me to channel and dive in and play. So I'm grateful for being here.
Yeah. Wonderful. And tell us a little bit about Grandmother Spider, and how do you see it, and what it is, or what she is, and so let's start with that.
Okay. She's incredibly powerful, and she lives within the earth. She's a part of us, that is earth. Every aspect of us is continually weaving into and out of the energy field that connects everything. Some of you are new, some of you I haven't met. Many of you I've met for a long time, and you know my backstory of my oldest son that was born with Down syndrome and autism has been my master guide for me in this lifetime. And he taught me how to weave into the quantum field. He taught me how to create new realities for him in the quantum field so that he could come more fully into his body, so that he could experience a different kind of life here, sovereign and with me and within our family. So every emotion, thought, and feeling that we have, and feelings are the manifestation of emotion plus thought. That's when feelings come into play. They are continually weaving into and out of the energy field. And so we can think about string theory and quantum physics, that particles of energy moves on waves, and these waves are continually moving in into and out of the field. So every experience that you've ever have is like a collection of strings that are sticky. They have all combined and create like a rope, thick rope that moves into the energy field, connecting into like experiences in that field that are vibrational match to your rope. So as we're going through the neurological unwiring of all the subconscious programming, we're wanting to unprogram, unwire all the illusions of the fields that we have woven ourselves into. We unweave and dismantle those particles of energy. So we hear a lot about the quantum field. And what is the quantum field exactly? It's kind of like the void. It's the subatomic particles that are unbound energy. There's the smallest particles of energy of matter that are unbound. The binding occurs when we come into an atom. Protons, electrons, protons bind into atoms, and the atoms are electromagnetic. So atoms come together and they form physical form, they form matter, they form our reality. They're bound. We're wanting to unbind so that we can unweave and create something new. Grandmother Spider lives deep within the earth, and she works with the electromagnetic field of the earth. The electromagnetic field of the earth plays with our electromagnetic field. It plays with our atoms of energy, and it helps create our reality. So when we want to work with her, we ask for her to be present, and she helps us relax into our bodies, relaxing the nervous system so that we can begin to unwind. The reason why we call her Spider is because all the different tentacles of her, if you can imagine a spider weaving a web, the webs are sticky. Atoms are sticky. So in her ability to unsticky, unweave us, unwind us from the illusion that we have created for ourselves, right? It's just a webbing of illusion that we're living in. We need a higher vibrational energy to come forward to break the bonds between us and the illusion that we have woven ourselves into. It takes a high vibrational energy to break bonded energy, to unbond. So the easiest way for us to understand the unbinding, unwebbing process is to play. Is it okay if we play a little bit, Monsef?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Do you have any questions so far?
Yeah, so how can we shift in the moments when it is intense to play? Because like initially we are in a very serious stage of being. So how can we shift into more playful states?
That is the hardest question. Well, it's the easiest question to answer. It's the hardest thing to do because we have to find space. We have to find anything that isn't automatically going to set off our body's chemistry that is a vibrational match to the weaving, to the illusion, to the trigger. So for those of you that don't know me, I have a physics background. I worked in the medical field for quite some time, and it taught me about sound. It taught me about quantum physics and physiology. So every emotion that we have when we are in a moment of trigger or a minute of repetitive patterning, and we're like, God, this again, this same chemistry is occurring in our body throughout the day, whether we're thinking about it or not. It's very subconscious programming. The body craves certain chemicals that it's used to feeding off of. So when we're noticing these moments of awareness about our thoughts headed down the same old path of lack, oh, I'm worrying about money again, or I have to talk to this person again. I wish this relationship was different, or I wish my health was different. So when we're in those moments of trigger or downward spiral, we have to create a physiological response to create space so that we don't automatically tune into the web, the illusion, that stickiness, that pattern, that density. So to create that space is always going to be first and foremost and easiest through breath, because that's the only thing that can give us a little space of a release of chemical response. And by not rejecting what we're feeling, but rather accepting everything that we're feeling. So if have this same old body ache that I've had a million times, like I wish I could get over this eczema, or I wish I could release this pain in my back, or whatever, acknowledging everything that you're feeling about that, all the thoughts that you're feeling about that. Because in that moment, if I just accept everything that I'm thinking about, if I accept everything that I'm feeling, and I take that breath while I'm accepting that, then I'm not feeding into the story. I've actually disassociated from the story, which in our mind, it's not going to seem like that. In our mind, it's like, well, if I accept what I'm feeling, then I'm making the story true. That's not it at all. If I'm accepting what I'm feeling, and if I'm accepting the thoughts that I'm having, I'm actually not rejecting self. And if I'm accepting myself and I'm normalizing it, well, it's normal for me to feel this frustration. It's normal for me to feel this lack, or if it's normal for me to feel this fear. And I take a breath at the same time, I start to bring the nervous system down. I start to calm the nervous system down, which releases a different set of chemicals along with the breath. So now I am accepting my frustration while I'm calming the nervous system down. So I'm beginning to self-regulate in a way that promotes self-acceptance, self-trust, self-love. I'm going to bring that energy up from the root up into my heart space, which again is unprogramming myself, because every time that I just breathe and I accept what I'm feeling without having to justify or validate these stories, then I am disassociating, I'm cutting off the strings from the energy field, from the illusion, from the web. I'm cutting the strings into the webbing, freeing myself to create something different. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does, absolutely. And like as you were sharing this, also it came to my mind like the power of choice. That we have the choice, and when we go through the breathing, we go through accepting our thoughts and emotions. Like in the end, we realize that we are free to choose how we feel or how we experience reality. And then we experience a lot of freedom, but maybe what makes it challenging or difficult to believe is that we get deeply identified with those thoughts and emotions, and they feel like they are real. So it becomes difficult to believe that when we have the freedom, it's available for us, we have the choice.
Perfect. That's exactly it. We can be empowered by any emotion. We can be empowered by any thought, no matter how negative it is or how painful it is. Everything is choice. We can be empowered by or be victim to. Every time we reject self, we are being victim to. It's a disempowering state. Every time we accept self, every time we accept what we're feeling, that's a state of empowerment. I'm choosing to be empowered by. What that then makes available to us is, and what Grandmother Spider can help you do if you ask her to be present. If I am disengaging with the illusion of pain or the illusion of trigger or whatever through self-acceptance, I have the opportunity to re-engage with a different reality in which there's something completely different occurring for me, because I have let go of my addiction to the current reality. It no longer exists. If I change my neurological wiring, if I upgrade the frequency of it through self-acceptance and self-love, then that reality that was causing the pain no longer exists. It's in the background, but I'm not attached to it. So now my vision changes to something different. My perception and what I see and what I understand is something completely different. It doesn't mean that I'm going to completely forget about this other thing. It just means that I don't see it the way I saw it before. Now I see this other reality that is much more real to me than it was before. The easiest way that I can is if I go back and I look at my childhood. Originally, there were parts of my childhood that really sucked. Most of us have some of these sucky memories that are really painful and disempowering. But I reworked my perception around it. I reworked my neurological wiring around it to put my focal point into a place of empowerment. So I went back into the traumatic and I was like, oh, I had the opportunity to do this instead or to see this instead. And I put my energy there. So now when I go back and I think about my childhood, I really do have a different perspective and a different memory of how it played out because I shifted my childhood into a parallel reality. And now that reality is more real for me than the one that sucked. So if I go back, I remember empowering people around me that empowered me, that saw me differently, that saw me, period. And I experience a different set of chemicals being released when I think about my childhood. If you would have asked me 10 years ago to think about my childhood, I would feel really crappy. It would be a different set of chemicals than I have today. Today, it's a very different physiological response. And because I have a different physiological response, meaning my biology is different, that has tied me into a reality that is completely different and it's empowering, which has shifted throughout my entire timeline.
Yeah. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And also, as you were talking about that, I thought about the part of taking responsibility of how we experience our life or where to focus, whether on the past experiences or the new story that we want to create. But also many times when we talk about being responsible, we feel triggered. Maybe because we have hidden beliefs about ourselves that if we are responsible, then we did something wrong. So we keep judging ourselves. So how do you see responsibility? Is it more empowering, like freeing, or can it always be like triggering?
It's completely freeing. So there was a time when my kids were really little. Even though we were having these mystical things, we had some incredibly difficult times. And I felt like the crappiest mom on the planet. And there were times I lost my temper because of the amount of overwhelming stress that was occurring in the home. If I look at that behavior and I take responsibility for it, I was doing the best I could in survival mode. So it was an experience, and I can look at that experience and shift my perspective of it so I can shift the energy of it. If I shift the energy of that entire experience, it doesn't mean I'm not taking responsibility for the time that I lost my temper with my kids. It means that I learned, gained the wisdom from it, shifted it into something different. So my kids remember something different too. My kids take away a different experience too, because I've taken the memory and I've dismantled the packet of energy that we're all tied into of it. I've unwove it. So I went from yelling at my kids in that moment to experiencing love instead, love for self. That's what was really lacking, was love for self in that moment. I'm like, oh, I was learning how to love myself. That was an experience of self-love. So I learned from it, I shifted the energy from it, and I untangled the web and freed everyone from that experience. If I take responsibility for it but be disempowered by it, like, God, I was such a shitty mom in that moment, then I am making that web thicker and denser and tying everyone into that experience more fully. So in every moment, we have the opportunity to shift. My mom was a yeller growing up. And that moment triggered me to be like, whoa, I just stepped into a pattern that I remember when I was little. Instead of being disempowered and beating myself up over it, I get to shift, learn, create something new, unweave all of that patterning. So now my kids don't even remember it, and they're not going to take that pattern on forward. Everything is an opportunity to learn and grow. Sometimes it helps. A lot of times it helps. If you take your consciousness and you come into your heart space when you're in a trigger or when you're in a repetitive pattern or when you're thinking about something, a past experience that sucks, that hurts, that's causing pain, and bring all of your energy up and out. Imagine taking it up to the clouds. Imagine being that oversoul. Everyone has an oversoul, this part of you that's so much bigger than this body. There's just an aspect of your soul, your spirit that comes down into this body. Imagine being this oversoul, looking down at this little human experience that you're having here. And you're like, wow, really, honestly, look what she allowed herself to move through. She allowed herself to have pain. She learned from that. She's allowed herself to experience lack. She's learning from that. He experienced that trauma. He's learning from that. And then you get to see that soul, that spirit in this human body from the soul's perspective, when they choose to be empowered by, grow bigger and bigger and bigger, and how proud and how much full of gratitude, how much gratitude and how much pride comes forward from your oversoul, looking down at the strength and the resilience of this human that's walking along the earth. So if it helps to look down at yourself in that way to feel empowered, then maybe that's the way that you create pause in your body's chemistry to begin to unweave the web of illusion. Play around with it, because really that's all we're doing here. We're just playing and we're experimenting with ways to feel just a little bit better than we did before. A little bit better goes a long way. A little bit better is a parallel reality. I feel a little bit better. I see a little bit different perspective. That's actually a parallel reality shift that you made. It doesn't have to be this big, huge thing all the time. Sometimes there are these little small shifts. I just feel a little bit better today. I'm walking in a parallel reality. When you start pointing those things out to yourself, it's like a snowball effect. It starts to build up, and your reticular activating system, that webbing that goes around your brain, starts to see something different because you're actually taking the time to point out evidence of change. Today, I feel a little bit better. Today, I have $1 more than I did yesterday. That's amazing. Look at that snowball effect. Like, make it bigger than, and point it out and give yourself gratitude and pat yourself on the back. That evidence, then your brain starts and your body starts craving that evidence instead of the past pain and the past lack and the past trauma. It starts to make the evidence of this other thing bigger, bigger, bigger. It's a game that we're playing here. It's a game of, what kind of frequency can I become? How much can I expand my frequency? What can I learn from this frequency? How can I play differently? So it's a constant game of, you know what, I'm done with this web. I'm going to unweave it. I'm going to start to look for new evidence. I'm going to start to rewire my subconscious and my neurological response. I'm going to start to rewire my biology to this new creation, to this new web. And at some point, that web's going to feel dense and sticky. So therefore, I'm going to unweave that and I'm going to reweave into something else. But the more that we play, the more that we release resistance to change. And resistance to change, because of the fear that we have to change, is what holds us back from experiencing life. So if we train our brains to look for change, to start to crave change, then we relax our nervous system around it, the faster that we can unweave and weave, unweave and weave.
Yeah. I really love that. And also what you just mentioned, I think answered a question I had is, because sometimes we want to change our experience on many levels or create different stories at once. But once you mentioned that if we just feel a little bit better on an aspect or another, just take it step by step. At some point we will just realize that the whole experience changed. And there is really there is power in consistency and taking it like step by step. Like really magical things can happen. Because also we take time out of the experience. And also many times when like when we want to, like things to happen on a certain timing, then maybe we create more pressure and more stress.
That's exactly it. It's that time, because when we start to associate, well, I feel like this should have been done yesterday. I feel like that makes it stickier because that takes it back to a fourth dimensional space. So when we are wanting to move into a different webbing, into a parallel reality, that's a different dimensional plane that we're moving into. But when Earth, we do work on a time here. We have linear time here. But that's in a certain dimensional plane. If we go quantum, meaning we move into the quantum field that's not programmed, there's no time there, and we can experience instantaneous whatever shifts. But when we place time on something, then we're putting it out in front of ourselves. So we're separate from what I want to experience rather than it being already within me. The problem with manifestation is that we usually put it in front of us, and it's this thing that we can't ever fully reach because we're always trying to get there. We're trying to bring this frequency in rather than becoming. And the way that we become, the way that we start to release the webbing is by looking for evidence that's already happened, because that keeps it in the present moment and it's not ahead of us. So if today I have one more dollar than I did yesterday, right now I've manifested, I am manifesting abundance. I am in the frequency of prosperity. I am it. It's not something that I'm striving for outside of myself. I already have evidence of it right now. Even if you just found a penny on the ground, I'm 1 penny wealthier today than I was yesterday. I am abundant. I am in the frequency of abundance, of prosperity. Or today I woke up and I feel just a little bit better about me and my body. I am in the frequency of self-love. I am in the frequency of self-acceptance. It makes it present now. So the tiniest little things, when we become aware of it, that evidence builds and makes it present. And so we're not working in the fourth dimensional space of time. We're working beyond that. That helps us step further into the quantum field where things can happen at an instantaneous rate. So when we're looking at anything, when we're trying to heal anything, when we're trying to change any pattern, we have to look at it from a space of wholeness. It is a very complicated subject. Healing in general is a complicated subject. And in the past, we've segmented things out. Well, I'm just going to work on my subconscious, but we can't do that without including the body consciousness. And I can't just kill or exclude my ego. That has to be part of the conversation too. I can't ignore my inner child. That needs to be part of the conversation too. Everything is happening. Everything is linked at the same time. So if I am inclusive of all that I am, it places me in the present moment. I can see the evidence, I can re-script, I can change my perception, and I can move beyond the field of illusion, and I can step into the web that it already is. Are you guys confused yet?
No, I'm not yet confused. Beautiful. Thank you for that. And I have one more question before we move to the audience questions. Is like in the process of unweaving and weaving and creating new stories, maybe part of that can be for some of us visualization or setting new intentions. Is it something we just do once and we forget about, or we do it consistently? Because I've been contemplating that, but when it is consistent, we also build some kind of attachment to the image, initial image. And when what we want, the desire, start to manifest in, we don't recognize it. It's there, but because we are attached to the initial image that we expect it to be in. So how do you see that?
Well, that's a great question. I'll let her answer. It's more about what we want to feel than what we visualize, because that has a stronger connection electromagnetically with the field to create a reality. So if I want to manifest a certain outcome, really what we're talking about is I want to feel this. I want to feel completely at ease with this. I want to experience the rush of adrenaline if I am desiring to go cliff diving. I want to experience this emotion with this person or whatever it may be. It's the feeling that we want to tune into throughout the day. So if I want to manifest or win this car, I'm going to pretend while I'm driving that I'm already driving the car, but it isn't so much about the car. It's what I feel in the car. I want to feel the cleanliness. I want to feel the joy. I want to feel that. So more than the actual visualization of the end product, it is what we want to feel during the experience that we try to ingest throughout our day, because it changes our chemical production throughout the day. And if I change my chemical production, like we've already spoken about, it changes my biology. I change my biology, I change what I'm connecting to into the field, into a different reality where it has already occurred, where it already exists. So the answer to that would be you can have the visualization, but it's more about the feeling. So what do I want to feel more throughout my day?
Yeah, beautiful. So it's more about switching to, or focusing more on the feeling of the experience. So yeah, thank you very much. And can we take questions from the audience?
Sure.
All right. So let's see. Catherine, can you please unmute yourself?
Hi, Monza. I
Hi.
am so excited to be here. My soul brought me here today. And as I'm listening to you talk, I'm so resonating with this. My nervous system has been so dysregulated. And so I'm really interested in all that you've said already. I also had an opportunity to do some perception shifting, and it did affect my children. So I appreciate you saying, because I have often felt I was a crappy mother. So I appreciate you clarifying that, kind of confirming that. As to my question, I guess I'm really looking here at nearing 70 years old. You know, I've been in survival mode for most of my life and had a lot of trauma in childhood. So I'm looking for something. I've found Band-Aids, so to speak, but I really haven't found anything to unweave. And I like how you're explaining that. So anything that you can help me with would be appreciated.
So your root is not connected to your heart. It actually doesn't connect to your sacral or your solar plexus either. It's kind of just on its own. You have a nerve plexus in your root, the inferior mesenteric nerve plexus. It's a group of neurons. Each chakra has a group of neurons there, and they have their own brain. They have a consciousness. Anytime electricity runs through a group of neurons, it creates a brain. So your original trauma is in that root towards the back of the chakras, which is kind of where the nerve plexus resides, and it's shut that nerve plexus down. So if you have bowel problems or things like that, or retain bloating kind of things, that is the product, because you don't have energy actually feeding up through your system. So for you to rewire into a state where your parasympathetic nervous system is calm, we need to open up communication, because if our if our lower chakras aren't speaking to our heart, and we're trying to open our heart, and let's say we do open our heart, but we're not self-feeding information, then what it signals to the heart is that I trust everyone else in my environment more than I trust myself, because I'm not self-feeding. So you're kind of stuck in this, I'm trying to be internal, but I'm stuck in this external kind of, which is always going to cause a heightened response to your nervous system. So beginning with the breath work in your root and bringing that inner child in when you do the breath, and say, we always had a choice to breathe, regardless of, there you are, I thought I lost you, regardless of what has happened, regardless of what happened in my childhood, I had a choice to breathe deeply, to self-regulate. And we know nobody around us knew how to do that. Nobody was talking about this to us when we were kids. They were just projecting all sorts of fun stuff at us. So we talk to that little girl, we talk to that little boy, and we breathe with them. We teach them how to breathe. And you teach them to breathe up through the root. And now I can feel your solar plexus or your sacral kind of lighting up. I don't know if you can feel that. Kind of bringing it on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so then we're going to breathe. This was the only power I had as a child. I had the choice to breathe. Even if that was the only power you had, that was enough. Okay, I had the power to breathe. I'm going to choose to breathe with her. So we're going to breathe that up into the solar plexus. Because nobody could take that away from me. I may have taken it away from myself because I didn't know, but I know now. So now I'm going to shift that. I'm going to see a little girl that knew how to breathe through her emotions. And then you're going to breathe that up into your heart. You can feel that energy moving.
Hard to breathe and cry.
Mm-hmm. And it's okay. So that is your first step to activating self-trust. And if I trust myself, then my nervous system is going to calm down at the same time. And when you think about your inner child, you really have to be aware of your physicality. Are your shoulders down and relaxed? Is your chin up? Is your neck open? Is your chest open? Because those are very primal responses. If I'm thinking about my childhood and I start to collapse in, I got to protect myself. I'm not empowered. But if I'm nice and open up, then I'm safe. It's a primal response if I'm safe. So that's going to set a different chemical response in the body, which you've done. You sat very nicely. So you can feel that moving. You're in a place of empowerment. You're in a place of movement.
Wow.
And then
I just feel so much calmer.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be like this big, huge, hard thing. So take this moment, bookmark it. Oh, look, I am in a place of power. Right now, I'm in power. So we're talking to the mind consciousness. We're talking to your ego. We're talking to your body. Check this out. Right now, I'm in a place of power. I have shifted my reality into one that I am a place of power. I have unwove from the sticky illusion of pain. And right now, I am in an open field of flowers. I'm in an open field of self-empowerment. So anytime you think of childhood, I want you to think about just focusing on breath. And then through that breath, the more you do that, what you remember will begin to change. There will be people that you can remember that were a positive influence for you. There was someone that gave you a hug. You make that person bigger than everybody else. There's no reason why that person can't have just as big of a presence in your life if you place your conscious awareness there, if you place your intention there, and make that bigger than all the other crap.
Wow,
Feel good?
that's good.
Okay.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Monse.
Yeah. Thank you, Catherine. And yeah, thank you, Erika, for the guidance.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we have a question from Joy. Hi, dear Erika and Monsef. I'm curious what message Grandmother Spider has for me. I am ready to start weaving my new creations from a clean slate, from 0 point. What's in my way to have a crystal clear vision? Thank you.
Well, immediately it's in your throat. Like it's so much in your throat, I can barely. It's difficult to trust the creations that want to come through us if we're not allowing ourselves to create coherence between heart and mind. So where Catherine was a little bit deficient on those lower 3 energy centers, you're a little bit caught up energetically between here and here. So ask for your mind consciousness to come down into your heart, the mind in your head. It has its own consciousness. You can ask it to come down to zone 1, which is your heart space. And everyone on the call can do this. You can feel the consciousness of your mind start to drop down into good. So if we're not thinking, trying to figure out what's in the way, trying to figure out what the block is or what the trauma is or what the past life situation was, and we just begin to trust that we are enough as we are. I want to start moving some more of this energy out of your throat. Kind of like, it's a woman, so I'm assuming it's your mom, like has her hand like in your throat, gripping onto your thyroid. So if I'm dropping my mind down into my heart, because my heart is the seat of my soul, also my heart is unprogrammed. And I'm just going to allow myself to trust in my heart. I don't have to trust in anything else. I want you to find that black space in your heart. So to find the trust, to open the trust, move into that black space. That is the void in the heart. That's the space between all the particles that make you you. And it's infinite. It's quantum. Okay, now I want you to take that space and I want you to push up through your throat, up through your third eye, up through your crown. So you take the void and you imagine pushing this space up through your throat, up through your third eye, up through your crown. And I'm going to start to release the enmeshment that is your mom off the front of your face. It's like on your third eye, off your throat. So we're unweaving the neurological patterns in your brain that are stuck to the image that she held of you. Better. And we can unweave from that, because if we make the void, this infinite space that's unprogrammed, bigger than the density, bigger than the sticky webbing, it becomes more real than the illusion that you're attached to in regards to this other person. And it will shift you out of it and into a space of more possibility. Now, Monsef asked a really good question earlier of, do I hold on to what I want to manifest or do I let it go? And the reason why Grandmother Spider answered the way she did, I'm still working on you, so just keep breathing, Joy. The reason why she answered that, because as we come into more of a place of self-trust and our self-expression grows, our soul codes grow, the light that we are continues to grow and expand, our desires shift all the time. What we want to manifest shifts all the time because we're playing in bigger dimensional fields where there's more opportunity. Maybe what you thought you wanted to manifest was actually pretty small in comparison to what you can and really in your heart's soul desire want to manifest. You just have to know what you want to, that's why knowing what you want to feel is much more valid, because in any present moment, if I am tuning into the void and I'm feeling more empowered in my body, this thing that I thought I wanted isn't really what I wanted. It was what I wanted when I was this stickier version of me, but now it's small and it's tight. But if I know what I want to feel, that usually doesn't really change, because peace is peace is peace is peace is peace. So clarity comes from self-empowerment, and that should begin to feel a lot more open in your throat. And so become clear on what you want to feel, and then ask your soul to guide. The desire. A lot of people have problems when I say, okay, what is it that you want to intend today? And they don't know what they necessarily know exactly what they want to intend. They don't know exactly what they want to experience, or I don't even know what I truly desire. So to take the pressure off of all that, again, come back to what you want to feel. I want to feel empowered. I want to feel abundant. I want to feel joy. I want to feel excited. I want to feel passion about something. Okay, so the difficulty then can be, well, how do I get myself to feel that? Well, let's come back into the heart. Let's breathe. Let's calm the nervous system. Let's go back into the void, unattaching to all the stories, unattaching from the webbing where there's infinite possibilities. Oh, I remember what that feels like. I remember what the blackness feels like. That's kind of exciting space because it's anything. And if I just hang out as long as I can there, if I can tune back into that however many times throughout the day, a desire will come from that space, because you're accessing soul. And that way soul desire can come forward, not the limited program desire. So a lot of desires, when we aren't in that void space, are coming from mind. And that's why they're kind of small, because mind, obviously, a lot of the mind is programmed. So if I unattach from all of that, what I want to manifest is going to shift and change, because I'm accessing a much bigger field of myself. Okay, hopefully that feels better. Let me know how that feels, Joy.
Yeah, that was quite powerful. So thank you for the answer. And Joy, she wrote, wow, thank you so much. I can feel that even my heart starts breathing differently.
Good.
Haley, this is so powerful, loving it. And Cherry, wow. Joy again, amazing. It feels amazing. Thank you.
Good.
Beautiful. And yeah, we will continue with the questions in a little bit. I just talk about the program you are offering, because there is a a group class coming on May 21st, and there will be also the replay. And it is a grandmother spider with a new web. And also there are evening and morning meditations and a 20 minutes one-on-one private session. And I invite everyone to visit the page and follow with us on yourdivineuniqueness.com/Erica, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Erica, ERICA. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live events page, later on the replay page. The link also on YouTube video description. And I will put it on the chat boxes on Zoom and on YouTube. So yeah, Erica, I would love if you can tell us about this program.
Okay. First, the private session. The only way you can get a private session with me now is on Monsef's show, because I've recently cut that down on my website. No longer doing one-to-ones outside of the coaching mentorship program. So if you want a private session, here's the only place that you can get it. And then the class that I'm going to be teaching is more in depth with this, with Grandmother Spider, really working deep into the brains of the body. And you will probably feel her, and she brings other spiders, weaving you in and out of the field. She works very quickly. So we're going to be working more with her with unweaving the really dense patternings in your field. So those sticky programs that you're really having issues with, bring those to the group class. A lot of people say, don't bring your baggage. I want you to bring all your baggage, because we are going to be unweaving all the baggage. The morning and evening meditations, those are deep energy clearing and setting intentions. So a lot of it is giving you the wording, giving you the empowerment on how to clear your field and walking you through it. And they're short, because if something is too long when we're trying to set an intention, when we're just waking up, we're going to dismiss it. We're going to move right through it. So these are about 10 to 13 minutes, I think. I don't really remember. I think they're around that time length. 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening. Cleanse your field off to start your day, set your intention, and then also cleaning off before you go to bed, but setting your intention before your dream state. So you work on quantum leaping in your sleep. So I'm becoming this vibration. I'm deciding, I'm commanding that I'm going to quantum leap through here in my dream state. So those are the 2 meditations. And then the 20-minute one-to-one session is deep work. It's led by your soul, your team of light. It can be channeling, but it's always coming from a place of wholeness where we integrate past, present, future timelines, parallel lives, all that you are. So it's playtime. Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Erica. For still offering the one-on-one session here, and also the group class and the meditations. And I just want to mention that even though it's 20 minutes, but you can go very deep, and I experienced that with her recently. So really recommend Erica's work. And again, you can sign up for one of these 2 packages on the page yourdivineuniqueness.com/Erica, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Erica, ERICA. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live events page, later on the replay page. The link also on YouTube video description and the chat boxes on Zoom and on YouTube. So can we continue with the questions?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. So, Erica, can you please unmute yourself?
Hi, Erica and Monsef. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
It feels like both of those first questions also applied to me. To deepen it, I have such jaw tension. Can you help me with that?
Mm-hmm. It's more in the lower jaw than the upper?
Yes.
Okay. This is more like past life seeping through your bone structure. Your body consciousness, when we die, physically, when our physical body stops, when our heart stops beating, And our physical body goes back into the earth. Part of the consciousness of that body goes back into the earth. And then when your soul re-enters in your next lifetime, the vibrations of the old body consciousness, even though you've decomposed and you've become soil and you've become trees, microbiome, it still holds part of your soul frequency within it. So when you come back into the body, that's how past life trauma reunites back with your body. So this is more like past life trauma from 2 or 3 lifetimes ago, but it's an accumulation of those 2 to 3 lifetimes. So when we think about that, what I want to do is resurrect the body consciousnesses from those lifetimes. And so just breathe, and we're asking for those lifetimes to come forward. And one of those lifetimes you were a little girl, and it was pretty brutal. I mean, we don't have to go into the details, but what we can do is, again, change her reality and shift her into a different reality. So she may not have had a choice in that lifetime to protect herself, but nobody could take away her internal power. And that's what was left out of her life force. She let her internal power go. So we're going to bring her ego, mind, body consciousness back into her heart space, back into that body consciousness in that lifetime. And we're going to breathe with her. Breathe up through her. Imagine breathing breath and just tell her you see her. Remind her how strong and brilliant she was, she is. And breathe breath up through her root. Bringing her power back into her heart space. Good. You should start to feel this in your head and in your jaw. We're going to disassociate her from that pain. And we're moving her into a different reality. And we're releasing her body consciousness from that old webbing. And then we're going to bring all of that energy through all the lifetimes. This new self-empowered energy all the way through. And it's really coming into your solar plexus first. Settling your masculine back into your body. Your masculine goes and your ego are in your solar, are like located with your solar plexus. So we're bringing that all back together. And then we're going to bring this up into your heart. And breathe it up through your throat, up through your head, up through your crown. Connecting your crown, clearing that connection to highest self, to source. Now you might feel, I'm doing this for a few of you on the call right now. You might feel a lot of pressure right at the crown because you don't trust that you're worthy enough to open that up, to open that connection up. You don't trust that connection. So just take a deep breath, relax your shoulders down, take your chin up, open your throat, open your chest. It's safe for me to have psychic connection. It's safe for me to be in my body. It's safe for me to be connected. Good, and we move that all the way up. There's a door about 300 feet above your head. Open that, go through that door. And go up. Okay, how does that feel?
Oh, there's joy there.
There's what?
Joy.
Okay. Good.
Joy.
Good.
Lightness, lightheadedness.
Yeah. I was going to tell you, it is you kind of popped off the ground. So as above, so below. So from your heart, move energy down through the lower chakras, down your legs, down your feet, and into the ground. There we go.
Okay.
Good. Does that feel better?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Erica. And also, thank you, Erica. So we have a question from Elizabeth. She wrote it earlier. I think it's about the unweaving and weaving. Does it also work for past life memories?
Mm-hmm. It does. It works for everything. Just like you saw, or just like you heard, I guess you couldn't see it maybe, unless you're super clairvoyant. What we just did with the other Erica is the memory of pain that she was experiencing with that body consciousness. That wasn't actually in the body consciousness. That was in the energy field that connects all things. That's like all memories, whether they're from past life, this life, or future lifetimes. That's like a packet of information. It's a balloon that your ropes are tied into. So because that came through into this body consciousness, there was a rope from her to a memory from a past life that's in the energy field. So by healing the past life body consciousness, we're disconnecting the rope from that, which moves through her timeline, which goes back to like what we talked about in the very beginning, like Catherine was talking about being a mom, of that heals through everything that you're connected to. So it goes back, it goes forward, all around you.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Erica. Sylvia Sherrod, thank you. I feel more my body now. That was after you answered Erica's question. Let's see. An iPhone user, I think it's Jackie. Can you please unmute yourself?
Oh, thank you, Monse. And hello, Erica.
Hi.
I remember you. We had a session once. I really resonated with everything you've done so far and feel like I was right there with them and was just wondering if you see anything else that could help.
Well, you have a huge cord coming out of your back. Huge rope that's congested. Okay, so when we have feelings of unworthiness, which everyone has, they can stem from different areas, but yours is came from a lack of power. So of feeling powerful. So then you start to look around your environment for validation. And as you're looking around for that validation, you brought in energy through the back, trying to feel power, but coming from an external source. So breathe into your solar plexus. And just exhale back out through the back of your solar plexus. Good. And then we're going to unzip from the back of your solar plexus up your spine, up through the back of your head. From all that junk. It's just noise and distraction from you knowing self. Okay, so as we unweave, we're wanting to fill up with our own light, and we need to close our energy field back up. Because if we're going to take out a big old rope out of our energy field, it's going through subtle bodies. So it's going through the different layers of your subtle bodies, and it can leave kind of like little holes. So it's kind of like psychic surgery, it's leaving holes in your etheric. Okay, so just imagine for everyone today, a good way for us to close out all the questions and all the work that we've been doing is the closest subtle body that you have to the physical body is your etheric subtle body. So imagine just this nice egg around you being lit up from the bottom all the way up around the back and around the front, being smoothed over, energy coming from the earth, just really soothing, cleansing, clearing that subtle body. Then there's another one outside of that. Another egg outside of that. And so we're going to work our way from the bottom up, around, onto the top, and closing, cleansing, clearing. And then there's another subtle body outside of that. So another egg moving from the bottom up, soothing, healing, cleansing, clearing. And then another subtle body outside of that. Same thing, running energy up, closing. You guys all have some holes in this one. So closing, clearing, healing. And then another one outside of that. And you can feel it kind of getting bigger. Each one gets a little bit bigger. Up, around, closing, cleansing, clearing. And then one more outside of that. Good. That feels much better. Okay. Thank you. That was a great question.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank you, Jackie. And thank you, Erica, for the guidance and also for the clearing you did to everyone. And so before we complete the call, do you have any message or something you would like to share?
I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being willing to play with me, to share the space with Monsef and I. The ripple effect that you all have, I talk about this on all of my calls, is massive. I don't think you understand how important your self-healing journey is and how much it affects everyone on the planet and beyond. So thank you for being here with me. Thank you for sharing space with us. And thank you for being willing to unweave and reweave something new. So thanks, Monsef.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Erica, for everything you shared. It was a really quite powerful call, very inspiring. And also thank you for the guidance and energy work you did for our live callers. And also everyone, thank you so much for being here with us today, sharing with us your comments, questions, your beautiful energies. And again, you can sign up for the program that Erica is offering to us on yourdivineuniqueness.com/Erica, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Erica. ERICA, or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live events page, later on the replay page, the link also on YouTube video description, and the chat boxes on Zoom and YouTube. And we have Elizabeth, thank you, Monsef and Erica, amazing as always. Miriam, thank you both very much. Jackie, thank you both so much. Joy, thank you both so much. Sylvia also, Alan, and Catherine and Janet and Cherry. So yeah, thank you. Jamie also, thank you. For Jamie, it's the class will be on the 31st. If you have any question regarding that, you can email us. All right, so thank you again, everyone. I'm sending you so much love, and then we see you on the next call. Bye for now.